0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint. And supply.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. Got a good one lined up for you on this wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Not so hot. We don't have that 97 feels like 112 like yesterday. That was insane. 97 feels like 112. No, we got a lot of overcast, a lot of cloud cover, some rain in the metro area. So be careful out there. Roads are slick. If you can get out of work early or if you can stay around late, anything to avoid the regular, traffic gimmick, do it. We are on the air officially now, Mario Brothers. I turned on the sign. That's it, man. It's old school.
Yep.
Gotta have the sign going.
And the red light. That's right.
Yep. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X at the controls. Phone lines are open. Questions, comments, critique. Hey, who are you voting for mayor and why? Who are you voting for sheriff and why in Orleans Parish? 766-9480. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Love to hear from you on this Wednesday afternoon. Gilbert Montano, the city's CAO. He's been with Mayor LaToya Cantrell since day one. He's resigning the end of next month. He's calling it a day. Gilbert Montano retiring from CAO with the city of New Orleans. Now, I'll tell you, when I talk about Mayor LaToya Cantrell, I get it. The very few proponents of the mayor, the very few people that like the mayor, they're like, Corey doesn't like the mayor. Of course, he's going to say something negative about her. To those people, I've lost credibility. And maybe in some ways I have lost credibility when it comes to the mayor. Maybe. I don't think so. I think I'm very fair and objective when it comes to the mayor. I give the mayor credit when credit is due. It's just very, very rarely due. 766-9480. Ghassan Corbin, the Sewage and Water Board Director, bringing him in from Milwaukee. I think that was a good move. Now, Mitch Landrieu, you can like him as mayor or not. You can say, boy, he's just one of these liberal woke Democrats. If you're a conservative and you don't like him, whatever. But Mitch Landrieu was a viable mayor. I'm not saying a good mayor or a bad mayor. I'm just saying a viable mayor. He showed up for work. He drove himself around, didn't have a policeman and a SUV. I'd see him going down Ferret or Jefferson Avenue by himself going to work. Not like Ray Nagin going to the gym with a guard driving him around or the mayor with policemen driving her around. So you may like him or not like him, but he was a real mayor. He showed up for work. He did things. He got the airport built. Again, I'm not trying to take up for Mitch Landrieu, but Mitch Landrieu, who knows politics, knows how it operates, born and raised in it, saw how his dad operated, his sister, all of it. It's got as close a view as possible. Too political for me. Just not a natural leader. He's a natural leader, but not a natural leader in the sense where he just reacts and does what's best. He thinks about political repercussions all the time. And that can be a problem. And he appointed Cedric Grant, this hack, anointed, appointed, lifetime joker, who, I mean, I'm not saying he's like a criminal, except that he's never done anything in his life, but has always maintained a job with the city of New Orleans. At my age now, in my 50s, you want to know my biggest regret being a New Orleanian? Should have worked for the city of New Orleans, where you get 3 1/3% of your salary every year you work. So get in there around 20 years old, retire at 50, and receive 100% of your salary for the rest of your life. That's how it works in New Orleans. So that's my biggest regret. If I have to come up with a regret, not getting some easy gig with the city, doing nothing like Cedric Grant, who now in retirement makes $180,000 a year, $180 a year. Think of all the former police chiefs. They're making like 200-300 grand a year in retirement. And they're like in working age still, 50, 60 years old. It's insane. Civil service, the retirement plan in New Orleans. I remember when, who was the former? Stacey Head, former council person, tried to get it, revised, like down to 1%. The outlash was crazy. Folks look at it like, man, you don't make much with the city, so the benefits are great. 3 1/3% of every year you work. It's not sustainable. It's insane. I digress. Mitch Landrieu hires Cedric Grant to run the Sewage and Water Board. Just this anointed, appointed political hack who had been around for decades and decades in the Morial administration, running this, running that. I mean, it's no different from John Alario putting his son on these different state commissions. He's been on like 4 or 5 state commissions, Alario's kid. Not the riverboat pilot. That one makes $600-700 grand, never piloting a ship. The riverboat pilots that he works with don't like him, thinks he's lazy, a threat, a problem, ran a boat into the dock, caused $1 million in damage. No, John Alario's kid's a dope, the riverboat pilot. The other one is too. Bounces from commission to commission. These aren't, I don't know how they live with themselves. Seriously. I guess you make money, you live with yourself. You have a bunch of mutual friends that talk behind your back, you live with yourself. But when it's time to go to bed at night and it's you and your maker, you sit there and go, God, without daddy, I would be having to go make my own living. I'd have to go make it on my own. One son, daddy got him the riverboat job. The other son on this board and commission, 4 or 5 different ones just bouncing around with no knowledge of anyone he's on, making 6 figures. That's what a Cedric Grant's like. I'm riding on the Lafitte Greenway on my bike like a decade ago. I stopped by that public pool to get a sip of water at the water fountain right there on the Lafitte Greenway near Claiborne. And there's a plaque when I guess the Morial administration put some money to the pool in the building. And on the bottom, it's got Cedric Grant on there from like 1991, like 35 years ago, as head of do nothingness, just some role where he was getting a salary doing nothing. So no, Mitch Landrieu appoints this political joker, Cedric Grant, to run the Sewage and Water Board. And I will, Cedric Grant, I've said this a bunch of times, he can pick the person that comes up with the test. It can be 5 questions, 20 questions, 100 questions. On the Sewage and Water Board, he can pick the person to come up with the questions. I'll do better on the test, on facts on the Sewage and Water Board than Cedric Grant will, who ran the Sewage and Water Board under Mitch Landrieu. I have no doubt about that. He knows nothing about the Sewage and Water Board. He knows nothing about the other boards and commissions he sat on. He knows about every 2 weeks he gets a city paycheck. And now in retirement, he's pulling $180, $180,000 a year doing nothing. That's the city of New Orleans. That's the dysfunction and incompetence with the city of New Orleans. Mayor LaToya Cantrell, 99.9% of the time, she fits that role. She's the poster person for that dysfunction and incompetence. Having Ghassan Corbin run the Sewage and Water Board wasn't one of those times. That was an excellent move. That was a move from a pro. That was a move that like Mitch Landrieu should have done. Don't go get the political hack. Go get the guy from Milwaukee, just for instance, happen to be from Milwaukee, who's got 30 years of experience doing this. So that was a brilliant move by the mayor. And look how much progress the Sewage and Water Board has made. I don't give Mayor LaToya Cantrell much credit, but ultimately she's the one who hired Ghassan Corbin, and he's the one that has helped modernize the Sewage and Water Board. He's moved the Sewage and Water Board forward in 7 years, and he resigned a couple of months ago. But in the 7 years he was there, he moved it forward more so than maybe in the last 70. Literally. It was refreshing. It was not. I'm worried about the new guy from Philly who's coming in. Is that some political maneuver? Is that a legitimate guy? Is he a guy that's just been getting his gig because of politics? I don't know. I have no clue. Is it old school, Cedric Grant type hire, or is it Ghassan Corbin type hire? We'll see. I have no idea. I'm not making a judgment, but I don't know. Gilbert Montano, the CAO of the city, the mayor hiring this guy out of, I think it was Albuquerque maybe. That was another good move by the mayor. Bringing in an outsider. I mean, think about this. Mayor LaToya Cantrell, black female. She brings in a guy who's a Lebanese Syrian guy from Milwaukee and brings in a Latino from Albuquerque. Not black females or black people in general. I'm not saying she doesn't have black people on her staff, but you got to give the mayor credit for not going down that road. Let me hire the best people available, at least on some of the positions, not all. Some were politically motivated. Some were pathetic choices. Some were hacks and jokers, but not Ghassan Corbin running the Sewage and Water Board and not Gilbert Montano as the city's CAO. Those were legitimate outside the city hires where you've got to give the mayor credit for not playing the Cedric Grant political game. Wow. I'm giving Mayor LaToya Cantrell credit. It's a rarity on the program. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Coming right back on this wide open Wednesday, 766-9480. Holla.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48.
I am the smartest man alive!
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. Hey, tonight for dinner, Lebanon's Cafe. In New Orleans, it's always where are we going to eat? Because there's so many choices. Lebanon's Cafe, 7 days a week. They open up at 11 a.m. and they stay open straight through till 9:30 at night. Yeah, late night dining, 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Tonight for dinner, make it Lebanon's Cafe. Freddy King, Councilman District C, joins us on the program again. How you doing, Freddie?
I'm good, Corey. How about yourself?
Good, man. I was in your hood the other day. I played a round of golf Sunday morning at English Turn Golf and Country Club. They hired this Troon Golf company that's managing the course now, and it's getting better and better all the time. That's a Jack Nicklaus signature course in New Orleans, in Orleans Parish. We got to make sure that thing stays nice and elite. You know, we don't have lots of plush first-class amenities in our city, Freddie. We got to preserve them, public or private.
Yeah. It's a nice course. I've never played golf, never played at that course. But I remember as a child, I forget what the tournament is. They now play it out there in Avondale. But it used to be an English Turn, and man, there were cars piled up, lined up along German de Gaulle, coming in, going from the golf course. So I know it was a big draw. For the English Turn for Orleans Parish a couple of years ago. I hate to see that it left, but hopefully we'll get another tournament over there one day.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see like a LPGA, senior PGA, maybe do it in like October, in the fall when the Saints are on the road. I'd love to see, a pro tournament out there, that pro money invested in the course like they used to do. Yeah, it's the Zurich Classic now, but yeah, back then it was like Compact, USF&G, Freeport McMoran, Freeport McDermott, had a bunch of names when it was over at English Turn. When that course was built, Freddie, it completed in 1988. It was $30 million. It was the most expensive golf course ever built in North America. They moved 2 million yards of dirt to build that course.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was 4 years old when that was built.
Yeah. Freddie King's with us, Councilman District C. Freddie, in the next 24, 48 hours, things are going to get pretty interesting in the French Quarter when it comes to trash pickup, I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions, more questions than answers about what's going to happen in the French Quarter. I'm always going to ask me, I've been asked recently, are we going to have 2 sanitation providers in the French Quarter? Are they going to change streets? Who is going to do what? And no one really knows. I spoke to some high-ranking officials in administration and just today, and they didn't know. So as of right now, if nothing changes from the court's perspective, you're going to have 2 sanitation providers, with that being IV Waste and Sherriff Consulting, going to have trucks on the ground in the French Quarter starting tomorrow.
So tomorrow, it's sort of a limbo day, I guess, for IV Waste, right? Like their contract ends at midnight tonight, but then the new one with the French Quarter Management District starts Friday. For that, Jane Cooper was saying they're going to do IV Waste is going to do Thursday for free, and you're saying, right. No, go ahead.
So kind of splitting here. Let's just say Friday, just to make it a clean. August 1st. There you go. August 1st, you're going to have a contract with FQMD. That's the French Quarter Management District. They're going to pay IV Waste to pick up trash in the French Quarter. and you're going to have a contract that the mayor gave to Troy Henry, Henry Consulting, to pick up trash in the French Quarter. I think it's important to note that the council, the majority of the city council, believe that IB Waste should be the sole trash collector in the French Quarter. Also, all the businesses and the residents that I've spoken to personally on the phone believe that IB Waste should remain the sole provider of sanitations in the French Quarter. Also, there was a meeting about a week or so ago where we called up the sanitation provider, the CAO, other members of the administration, and they all said for various reasons that they were not comfortable with Troy Henry or Henry Consulting moving forward, and that IV Waste should remain the sole trash collector in the French Quarter. And with all of that being said, the mayor and who knows who else who is advising her decided to go with Troy Henry starting tomorrow.
So you literally could have two trash companies working in the quarter at the same time?
Unless something changes with the courts, yes, we're going to have.
Now, the French Quarter Management District, Freddie, Jane Cooper told me, like, they've got the money on hand to pay for August, but they expect the city to reimburse them. That Senator Harris's legislation says as much. So the French Quarter Management Group isn't like saying, hey, we're paying for it. They're going to front the money for August, but they expect reimbursement from the city. The contract's through December 22nd, so they're going to expect reimbursement for September, October, November, and December as well.
Right. So roughly $500,000 per month.
Yep.
They're going to expect reimbursement from the city.
Yep.
Also, it should be noted that the emergency contract that the mayor, I don't want to say gave, but awarded to Troy Henry,
yep,
is about $2 million more than the total contract for in the
IV Waste.
So yeah,
it's more. It's over $2 million more.
Yeah, so both emergency contracts on the table. Troy Henry's or Henry Consulting contract is about $2 million more. Correct.
Now, Friday, isn't a judge going to rule on one of these lawsuits? I think Liz Merles, the AG with the state, if it's a legitimate emergency or not. Because Liz Merle makes a great point. Obviously, you can't create an emergency and then take the emergency powers and start using them.
And that's what we've been saying as a council. The only emergency is the fact that the mayor said that Sidney Torres, IV Waste, Sidney Torres' company, can no longer pick up trash in the French Quarter. So you created an emergency, then try to say, I need to now solve that emergency or fix that emergency. So
with the emergency powers.
Exactly. So I was told August 1st or Friday, but as a lawyer, you never want to bank on what a judge is going to do because they kind of go by their own schedule.
Yep. Yeah. No, they're the judge. They could push it back. Anything could happen. Exactly. What are you expecting if I'm down in the quarter on Friday right now? What are you expecting, Freddie? Just IV Waste, or it'll be IV Waste and Henry Consulting via Richard's disposal?
I think it'll be both. I don't see either company backing down.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it'll be both, but I would look on the bright side. You'll get trash picked up in the quarter. It's looking clean. It's never been cleaner. At least in my time as a council member, and even going back before my time as a council member, everyone's saying how clean it is. So I want to look on the bright side. We're going to have two trash companies. Yeah, that's still a bit of a mess, bit of a state of confusion, but we're going to guarantee that the quarter will continue to be clean. And that's my main concern.
No, me too. I love that. It'll be cleaner than ever. You'll have two trash companies, but IV Waste seemed to be doing the job for $460,000 a month, roughly. Now this thing's going to be about $1 million a month.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Like I said, Corey, we have more questions than answers. Why? You can go and check out the council meeting a couple weeks ago. It was kind of crazy. Hearing some of the answers, a lot of I don't know coming from key members of the administration, as to why the contract is more, as to who approved the contract, who negotiated the contract, why is the bond for the new contract only required a 50% bond when other contracts, other trash contracts in the city require a 100% bond.
Yeah. Yep.
Who knows those answers? We didn't get any clear answers at that meeting a few weeks ago.
No, that puts the city on the hook if something were to happen with Henry Consulting and Ivy Waste with only half the bond. It makes no sense. It makes it easier for them to, and I think everybody else bidding on that expected and was ready to put up the full bond. Is there going to be an RFP going out? Do you guys handle that, or the mayor, as far as January of 2026 and on in the quarter?
Don't really know. That'll be the mayor. The mayor decides the trash contracts and the sanitation providers throughout the city. That's kind of hazy. Will the contract awarded to Henry Consulting last year, would that stay in place? Will there be a new contract with the new administration coming January? I think all that is still being played out in the courts.
Wow, unbelievable. Freddy King's with us, Councilman District C. Hey, Freddie, before we let you go, I don't want to, drop the ball. A couple of fatalities, bicycle accidents over there, Elysian Fields near St. Claude. Tell us about that and how we fix this. We can't have people on bicycles dying, getting hit by cars. It's 2 deaths in like a month, right?
Yeah, it's been 2 deaths in a month. I know one was on Franklin in St. Claude. St. Claude is a highly traveled corridor for cyclists, for people that walk, and for drivers coming in and out of the Lower 9, St. Bernard, you name it. I actually had a bike ride. I took a bike ride with the group Bike Easy a couple months ago, and I also took a bike ride on St. Claude with some neighbors of the neighborhood, and it's very scary. You have people who park in the bicyclist lane. So as a cyclist, you don't know, should I jump on the street real quick, go around this truck?
Yep.
Should I jump on the sidewalk? It is scary. It causes speeding. But what we're going to do tonight at the St. Rod Community Church, starting at 6 o'clock, we're going to have a community meeting called by myself, and we're going to have members of DOTD, because St. Claude is a state highway. We're going to have members of our state delegation, State Representative Candace Newell, State Senator Joseph Bowie, along with the Department of Public Works, to, one, hear from our constituents, hear their thoughts and their concerns, but 2, give them information. There's a lot of false information or incomplete information about who controls St. Claude, what can be done. Do you put the bike lanes here? Do you put them there? How wide should they be? How much is it going to cost? When will the construction start? So we hope to get some answers for the residents of that community, because, it's a dangerous situation. One could have resolved as soon as possible.
Yep. Any final thoughts until we visit again, Freddie? I guess Friday's going to be an interesting day as far as trash collection in the French Quarter.
Yeah, it's when you think it's a quiet time, summer's usually quiet. This city always has a curveball, and we're seeing that now with this trash situation in the French Quarter. But once we get it resolved, I'll be happy to come on and talk about it some more.
Sounds good. Tomorrow, actually, it could be both crews out there. Tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. Freddie, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Corey.
That's Freddy King, Councilman District C. Corey Johnson with you, coming right back.
Gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
As New Orleans as the mighty Mississippi, Corey Johnson.
The old miss, the old man.
On 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Deep River, my home is over Jordan.
We were just visiting with Councilman Freddy King, District C. He rejoins us with some breaking news. Freddie, thank you very much.
Oh, it's all good. So we were talking, I was getting a phone call from our attorneys in City Hall, and I was told that the Supreme Court did indeed just sent down their ruling that they are going to at least temporarily stop the Troy Henry contract. So according to the Supreme Court right now, there's going to only be one company picking up trash, and that would be IV Waste. I'm sure this is one more step in many other steps of litigation, but for right now, the Supreme Court has stalled, put a pause on the Troy Henry contract.
Wow, incredible. Thank you so much. Anything else, Freddie, that we should know?
No, like I said, I don't think this will be the last piece of litigation. This is going to continue, but this is just the latest.
Yep. Freddie, thank you again so much. Thanks.
All right. You're very welcome. Thank you.
That's District C Councilman Freddy King with breaking news, man. Our roving reporter, huh, Mario Brothers? You got to like that.
Yeah, good stuff.
You got to like that. Seriously, he's on the show, ends the segment, gets a call from his people that the Supreme Court ruled, and he was just on the show with me, and he calls me back and texts me and's like, if you want me on, I'll come back on and tell you the ruling. I'm like, that's incredible.
A man who cares, man.
No, he's a councilman. He's not like media guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible.
It's good,
anyway,
good
the Louisiana Supreme Court has ruled. Freddie King saying that they're basically saying that the Henry Consulting contract is on hold or is not going to go into play. And there will be only one trash hauler in the quarter, and it will continue to be IV Waste. That's the Louisiana Supreme Court ruling. So there won't be two trash companies tomorrow or Friday cleaning up the quarter. There won't be $1 million a month bill due every month instead of the $460,000 that IV Waste is charging. No, I'm glad to see this. I've got nothing against Troy Henry. I've had him on the show. I'll have him on the show again. But Troy Henry, subbing out the deal, which is legally fine, but can create problems if you're not getting along with your sub. And that's what happened. They're suing each other publicly. The city goes and gets IV Waste, puts out a bid for emergency pickup for a year. IV Waste wins that bid. And then a few months into it, the mayor declares an emergency, and 86's IV Waste contract declares an emergency because of that, and then hires Henry Consulting to finish up the work at a contract that's $2 million more than IV Waste's deal. And IV Waste was doing enhanced cleaning. I had Jane Cooper on the program. Their contract through December with IV Waste includes the enhanced cleaning at the same price, roughly $460,000 a month. Troy Henry's contract is more expensive and doesn't include the enhanced cleaning in the contract. Henry says he'll do it like IV Waste was doing it when it wasn't in the contract. Big news, Louisiana Supreme Court ruling stopping Henry Consulting. They will not pick up trash tomorrow or Friday or in the future in the quarter unless things change. Only one trash hauler for the French Quarter, and it will continue to be IV Waste. For the citizens in the quarter, for the businesses in the quarter, for most people in Metro New Orleans, the city and beyond, in Jefferson, St. Tam, they want IV Waste to continue there. Has nothing to do with Sidney Torres, IV Waste. Do they like the company or not? This company, XYZ, call it, owned by John Doe. They like that the quarter is as clean as it's ever been. They like the lemon fresh scent. They like that this company is proactive in cleaning the quarter. That's it. The mayor should be embracing what the people want, what the people clearly want. Instead, the mayor, contrary, belligerent, the usual deal, going the opposite way. Now, this is great news for the citizens of New Orleans. What's best for the citizens? The less cost deal each month, the deal that has the enhanced cleaning now in the contract and seamlessly continuing through December. Troy Henry Consulting, IV Waste, River Parish Disposal, Richards, Metro, Serve Pro, Waste Pro, whatever, anyone, Ramelli. Sad, I know these trash companies. Isn't that pathetic? Seriously, Mario, brother. It's like you in sports knowing, the relief pitchers or,
yes,
something like that. I know the trash companies because of this trash deal.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, all of those folks or none of those folks or folks I haven't mentioned from out of town, in town, new companies. Mario Brothers I'm going to sub it out to Metro. I'm going to put in a bid. I got my bond money. There's going to be an RFP going out in the next few months, I would imagine, from the city for January 2026 and beyond. And this mayor's not going to go, I leave in January. I'll leave that up to the next mayor and the next administration. I'll just extend IV Waste till like March, and then I'll let the next mayor decide what's going to go down during their term. No shot. Mayor LaToya Cantrell's new goal now, hell bent on, the long-term deal. The long-term, the 7 or 8 year deal for $73 million. That's what this mayor's new focus will be if she can't get Henry Consulting in before December. Because they're going to be throwing out that bid, I don't know, in a month, September, October, because it starts in January of 2026 in 6 months. That's a whole other story. Isn't that crazy? Trash in New Orleans, like the big story, and getting national attention too. Getting national attention. Corey Johnson with you, a wide open Wednesday edition of the show. The big story of the day, the Louisiana Supreme Court has ruled on the trash wars in New Orleans. The Supreme Court of Louisiana says Henry Consulting, that contract is void or is paused. They will not be cleaning the quarter tomorrow, Friday, the near future. maybe through December. IV Waste will continue. There'll be one trash provider for the French Quarter, and it'll be IV Waste through December. Supreme Court ruling, Louisiana Supreme Court ruling. Wow. I think I've got the ruling right here. Supreme Court of Louisiana, Daniel Conwill, he's the owner of Felix's, the business owner. Maria Kostopoulos, she's the Greek lady that is the resident, versus Mayor LaToya Cantrell in her official capacity. Plaintiffs and residents and business owners in the French Quarter of the city of New Orleans, they seek review of a ruling of the district court denying their request for a preliminary injunction to enjoin the mayor from directing the city to perform under or give effect to a proposed emergency contract with Henry Consulting for trash collection beginning on July 31st. That's tomorrow. Pursuant to Louisiana Code, a preliminary injunction shall be issued in cases where irreparable injury, loss, or damage may otherwise result to the applicant. The purpose of a preliminary injunction is to preserve status quo until trials on the merit. Let's see. Let me get to the juice of it. In the case before us, plaintiffs allege the city proposed emergency contract with Henry Consulting was not lawfully entered because there was no actual emergency at the time. Instead, plaintiffs maintain the mayor unilaterally created the emergency by terminating the existing trash collection contract with IV Waste. Plaintiffs further assert that to the extent the mayor proclaimed an emergency, the city council acted pursuant to its powers under Louisiana, blah, 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 to immediately terminate the state of emergency. The emergency contract with Henry Consulting has a considerably higher maximum financial exposure that the existing contract and may result in an increased burden on the taxpayers, including plaintiffs. I guess that's referring to the bond that Henry is only coming up with half. We find plaintiffs have made a sufficient showing to support the issuance of a preliminary injunction. Plaintiffs have raised significant legal questions concerning whether the city established a proper basis for entering into the emergency contract with Henry Consulting, and whether the contract based on emergency, assuming one existed, extends for a year after the purported emergency was terminated. These questions cannot be resolved prior to the commencement of the contract on July 31st, 2025. Failure to grant injunctive relief will cause plaintiffs irreparable harm by allowing this contract to go into immediate effect, notwithstanding serious concerns about its illegality. To preserve the status quo, a preliminary injunction is necessary and appropriate. For the reasons assigned, the judgment of the district court is reversed. The request for preliminary injunction is granted. The case is remanded to the district court to fix the amount and manner of security for costs as required by Louisiana Code and for further proceedings consistent with this opinion. The Louisiana Supreme Court has ruled Henry Consulting is out, IV Waste is in, and things will seamlessly continue tomorrow. Won't miss a beat. IV Waste is in there today. Tomorrow, when Henry Consulting, Richard's Disposal, was gearing up to head to the French Quarter tomorrow, they won't be.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Yeah, you're right. Every now and then we with that blind squirrel finding that acorn. Now breaking that story thanks to Freddy King, who was just on with us and immediately called us right back because of the Supreme Court ruling. It's not even on NOLA.com. 4, 6, 8 didn't have it. Fox 8 just picked it up. Rob Masson always doing a good job. Louisiana Supreme Court grants injunction to keep IV waste in French Quarter pending trial. So tomorrow, Richards Disposal under Henry Consulting LLC will not be cleaning the quarter. From what I understand, Richards is a really nice guy. I got a buddy of mine who used to own a restaurant. He's got Richards on his phone. Anytime he has problems, Richard is there quickly. Honorable, good guy. That's according to my friend that had a restaurant and had Richards Disposal doing the dumpster. Says he had some problems, calls Richards, and 20 minutes later, a truck's there fixing the problem. So this isn't against Richard. And I mentioned Troy Henry. Businessman, subs out everything. You got the Six Flags deal. Not a developer. He's going to sub it all out. You know, airport, he cleans the bathrooms at the airport. Henry Consulting subs it out to a janitorial service. There's nothing illegal about it. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser came on the show and was like, why have a middleman? Why not just go directly to someone that owns the company? They changed the law. They'll do that. That's not the law right now. I mean, it's a good point that Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser brings up. And Henry Consulting can even relate to it. They had the contract for the quarter, but their sub, Richards Disposal, and Henry, they sued each other publicly. So that's when you don't have your you-know-what together. And that's when IV Waste stepped up. And people in the quarter love the clean. So instead of the mayor giving the citizens what they want, the belligerent Junket Cantrell goes the opposite way. Contrarian, just living in her own world. I mentioned to someone today, like threw in the towel a while back, like threw in the towel years ago, like a couple of years ago. The mayor's just taking a powder. She's done. Anyway, a big, big day. Louisiana Supreme Court stopping Henry Consulting. IV Waste will be the sole trash contractor hauler in the French Quarter. No, and that's good news. It's unbelievable. The dysfunction of this city. You have this, first off, people fighting for a trash contractor. That's mind-blowing. That shows you how broken the city is. And then the mayor's going to go the other way against what the citizens want. Black, white, old, young, Republican, Democrat, business owners, residents of the quarter. Like I said, it's hard to find someone that's for IV Waste going away and Henry Consulting coming in. You want to know who it is? Troy Henry, Oliver Thomas, LaToya Cantrell, and maybe I say Richard's Disposal. They didn't even bid on the French Quarter contract. They only got involved after Henry Consulting won it. Crazy. Hey, this program every day on radio, on television, on YouTube, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Lamarck Ford, the big store for over 45 years. Lamarck Lincoln, number one Lincoln dealership in the state. Man, if you're looking for an SUV, before you go buy something else, go check out the Black Label line of Lincoln SUVs at Lamarck Lincoln in Kennebra. So plush, so luxurious, so nice. Some of the finest SUVs in the world can be found in Kenna. The Lamarck Automotive Complex, Lamarck Lincoln, number one in Louisiana. Every day, this program is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, home of Lamarck Ford and Lamarck Lincoln, and also Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood on Jefferson Highway, your commercial truck, van, SUV dealer. Big, big news. Freddy King, District C Councilman, joining us on the program. He breaks the news. His people let him know the Louisiana Supreme Court ruling. Henry Consulting out. IV Waste remaining as the French Quarter trash hauler through the end of the year. Essentially, the Supreme Court ruled there was no emergency. Just as the council was saying, as that business owner, the resident in the French Quarter, and many other folks, by canceling the IV Waste contract, the mayor created her own emergency. So it wasn't real. And then when you have a true emergency, like a hurricane or something like that, the mayor has special emergency powers to get things done because there's an emergency. Don't have time to go through the usual process. But it has to be a legitimate emergency. The mayor created one, made it up, then used the emergency powers to essentially 86 IV Waste and bring in Henry Consulting. I mean, you want the true deal? Canceled IV Waste, that created the emergency, used the emergency powers to sign up Henry Consulting. The Supreme Court of Louisiana basically said there is no emergency. Therefore, IV Waste should continue to be the trash hauler and Henry Consulting should not be picking up trash. That's how it'll work tomorrow. No, I was talking to Freddie. I was like, man, tomorrow, Friday, it's going to be interesting in the quarter. 468-26NOLA.com, The Lens, every media outlet was going to be in the quarter tomorrow morning. Watching, video of IV Waste trucks going down the street and Richard's Disposal trucks going down the street. Interviews with, Sidney Torres, interviews with Troy Henry. That was going to be the big story tomorrow and Friday in the quarter. There were going to be people going down there to see it. Hey, Mario Brothers, you going to the LSU game? No, dude, going down to the quarter to see the trash wars. Crazy.
Same thing sometimes, but yeah.
Pretty much. Now, the big story of the day, the Louisiana Supreme Court rules. Essentially, Henry Consulting's out. IV Waste is in. IV Waste will continue cleaning the French Quarter. One hauler only. One trash company only, IV Waste. Corey Johnson with you on a wide open Wednesday. Breaking news. We break the story. We're breaking the story. You got to check out the program every day, 4 to 6 o'clock on radio, on television, on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Oh, boy. Here comes the champion of the world. You see this guy walking in? You think he's going to get up here? Better make room. There he comes. Come on over, buddy. You're coming on in. You're going to get. Hey, look, he's just laying down right by you, Mario Brothers. Not even move. Mario Brothers, give him a little pet. Oh, he's flipping over on his belly. Oh, you're in trouble now, Mario Brothers. What, Blue Boy? Yeah, that felt good. I don't think Mario Brothers has any treats in his pockets. No, buddy, you can't have Chick-fil-A. Too salty. Good boy. What? You're glad that IV Waste continues to clean the quarter because as a dog, you're low to the ground with a very sensitive nose and it smells a lot better with IV Waste. Blue Boy, you're a genius. Stick around, New Orleans.
You're on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. woodhousebars.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint and Supply.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Here's New Orleans.
Here we go again. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way. Yeah, you right. YYR. Thanks for joining us, New Orleans. Corey Johnson with you. I was just watching that Francesca TV commercial. Makes me want to go get a sloppy roast beef po' boy and get a pizza on the side.
Ooh, with some frips from there. You ever had those? They're good.
No, what are the frips?
They're like really crispy French fries.
Oh, yeah, they're almost like potato chips.
Yes.
Yeah, no, those are really good.
So good.
Yeah, they really are. Francesca's good. I think people don't realize it, you know?
Yes.
It's probably the premier deli in the city.
Yes. They also have a Cajun Cuban sandwich, which is really good.
Yeah, they got like 15 different specialty sandwiches. Plus, you can just make your own, pick the meat, the bread, all of that. Francesca Deli. For you old schoolers, you old timers, it's the old Charlie's Deli location. That's on Harrison Avenue in between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli. Part of Katie's, part of Scott Craig's restaurant group. They got a couple of restaurants, Katie's and Francesca. Katie's in Mid-City. Little overcast, some rain, not as hot. Yesterday was 97, feels like 110. What we got today, Mario Brothers, for weather with that rain? I'm imagining like 92, feels like 92, something like that.
Yeah, not as bad, but
it can't be.
A,
I mean, yesterday was 97 degrees, literally, like 97. Felt like $112, like that's dangerous weather. That's like stay inside, like, you know, not good. You know, dangerous.
big nope.
What do we got? No, we 77. 77?
Yeah, day 94, night 75. Yeah, wow.
It's 77 right now.
Yeah, at 5:04 p.m. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Cloud cover and a little rain. What's the feels like?
Not seeing it.
What's the feels like, Mario?
It normally says on his screen. I don't know why.
It was on there yesterday.
Yeah.
Feels like 77, huh?
Yep.
77 feels like 77? Jeez, that's as good as it gets.
That's rare, but yeah.
Come on, are you kidding me? Felt like $112 yesterday.
We'll take it, man.
I mean, that 77 to $112. What's that? 25?
Yeah, geez.
25 degree feel like difference?
One day.
Jeez.
Louisiana.
Thank you, cloud cover and a little rain, man. We need it. Yeah, that was ridiculous. 112 is dangerous. Still, hydrate up. Some parts of the city getting rain, some parts of the city not getting rain. You know how it works. Gilbert Montano resigns the city's CAO, but that's not the big story of the day. Susan Hudson, yesterday's debate suggesting the jailbreak was politically motivated. That's not the big story of the day. The Louisiana Supreme Court has ruled. Tomorrow, it'll be IV waste exclusively. Henry Consulting is out, at least temporarily, until the next trial, the next court hearing. But the Louisiana Supreme Court ruled with the business owner in the quarter and the resident in the quarter that basically were arguing really smart. I mean, these folks got a good attorney. They looked at this situation and they came up with that there isn't a real emergency. The city council said the same thing, that the mayor, by firing Ivy Waste, by terminating Ivy Waste's contract, that created the emergency. And then the mayor took emergency powers and put Henry Consulting in place of IV Waste. The Louisiana Supreme Court today, just a little while ago, announced their ruling. IV Waste is staying around. Henry Consulting is out. There was no legitimate emergency. There was no reason to terminate IV Waste. There was no legitimate emergency. And there was no reason to bring in Henry Consulting because there wasn't an emergency. So that's great news because tomorrow, Friday, could have had two folks cleaning up the quarter, IV Waste and Henry Consulting, to the tune of about $1 million a month that the city would be on the hook for. Right now, it's about $460,000 for IV Waste. Henry Consulting is more per month than IV Waste doing less work. It's mind-blowing. The mayor es loco. Es loco. No, I wish the mayor was loco because that would be an excuse. It's like the mayor's on drugs. The mayor's drunk. You'd have an excuse. Well, the mayor might be drunk and the mayor might be on drugs. I have no idea. But I wouldn't have prescription medication and booze the way she acts. But I don't want to. That's just not right to say. I know the mayor does drink a lot publicly. I've seen her drunk too many times in public. Lillette, Houston's, in the French Quarter. Ridiculous. Now, you know what the mayor's going to do now? The mayor's not going to step aside. Hey, I leave office in January. I'll let the next administration pick the trash hauler for the quarter in the CBD for the next 8 years. She's going to be on a hell-bent, journey to make sure IV Waste is out and Henry Consulting comes in January. Maybe before. I mean, this thing is still fluid. It's still ongoing. But the big news of the day, the Louisiana Supreme Court ruled in favor of the plaintiffs, the business owner and the resident in the quarter, that there was no real emergency. Therefore, the mayor doesn't have emergency powers. Therefore, the mayor can't put Henry Consulting in, and the mayor shouldn't have terminated the IV Waste contract. And with the French Quarter Management District inking a new contract with IV Waste, which they legally can do under new legislation passed this last session under Senator Harris from New Orleans. They've signed IV Waste through December. That contract is in play. So tomorrow there will only be one trash hauler in the quarter, IV Waste. Thank you, Louisiana Supreme Court. Hopefully this thing sticks. Corey Johnson with you. The phone lines are open, 766-9480, 766-9480. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X at the controls, 766-9480. Love to hear from you. What do you think about the Supreme Court ruling? Is it the right ruling? Is the mayor right? Should Henry Consulting be cleaning the quarter? Are the citizens and the business owners in the quarters right? IV Waste should continue. The Louisiana Supreme Court's going with IV Waste. They ruled just a little while ago. What do you say? 766-9480. Gilbert Montano, the city's CAO, the mayor's CAO since day one when Junket Cantrell took office. She brought in Gilbert Montano from, I believe, Albuquerque. He's done a pretty admirable job. He seems like a pretty legitimate dude, showing up for work every day. I mean, without him, geez and Pete's. I mean, at least this guy's got his you-know-what together. Obviously, the mayor doesn't. Things would even be worse. I give the mayor credit when credit is due. Gilbert Montano as CAO was a good hire. Normally, it'd be some insider, some political anointed, appointed hack that's been in New Orleans government for years doing nothing. Like when Mitch Landrieu appointed Cedric Grant to run the Sewage and Water Board. What does he know about the Sewage and Water Board? Zero. No, that's another good hire by the mayor, LaToya Cantrell. Ghassan Corbin to run the Sewage and Water Board. He did that the last 7 years. He just resigned a couple of months ago. Now it's Gilbert Montano resigning, the CAO. No, those were kind of fair, objective, outside the box, not what we're normally used to. Normally it's some politically anointed, appointed hack. I keep bringing up Cedric Grant's name because he's the poster boy for it. No, the mayor has done very, very, very little right. But hiring Gaston Corbin to run the Sewage and Water Board, he advanced the Sewage and Water Board in his 7 years, the last 7 years, probably more than the Sewage and Water Board advanced in the last 70, literally. He did so many things. I mean, the list is endless. The new power plant, the water towers to keep the pressure up, getting rid of the people stealing that were stealing brass, getting rid of people that weren't working, bringing in the new turbine, bringing in the converters, the power converters. Just endless what he's done. Smart meters all over the city. Are you kidding me? No, he was legitimate. He was real. That was a good hire. Gilbert Montano, legitimate, real, good hire. Can't think of too much else the mayor's done that's good. But those two are legitimate. I'll give the mayor credit when credit's due. Old Junket Cantrell can't leave soon enough. 5 months. 5 months, folks. January, out of there. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Corey Johnson with you, Wide Open Wednesday. Big story of the day. The Louisiana Supreme Court has ruled. Tomorrow, Ivy Waste will be cleaning the quarter, not Henry Consulting. Friday, Ivy Waste will be cleaning the quarter, not Henry Consulting. Next week, Ivy Waste, not Henry Consulting. They have ruled. Gilbert Montano resigning. Sheriff Susan Hudson last night just can't keep, she can't help herself. Can't keep her yap shut. Can't help herself. Now it's a debate, a forum, so she's got to talk, but at least say things that are, reasonable. She basically was suggesting the May 16th jailbreak. She did this before and then backed off on it. Now she's all over it because it's running for, office time again. She is saying the May 16th jailbreaks were politically motivated. Like somebody running against her colluded with folks to allow this jailbreak to happen to make her look bad. That is absolutely pathetic. What's pathetic is me looking at the damn wrong clock.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-JC.com, your cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Not an FM disc jockey, not a former politician, Corey Johnson.
You're not the DJ. You're a raconteur. You're a storyteller. You're a griot.
It's true. Yeah, you right. Tomorrow was going to be ground zero, huh? Might have had Henry Consulting and Ivy Waste cleaning the quarter. Now it'll just be Ivy Waste, at least for the time being. There are other lawsuits out there that could change this in the future. But the great news for most people in New Orleans, black, white, old, young, Republican, Democrat, that care about the city, that don't have a whacked agenda, that are like, you know, I'm for the mayor and her craziness. There are people like that. I mean, the mayor had like, I think 23% of the population liked what she's doing. I'm like, how can 1 in 4 New Orleanians like what she's doing? Because you got people that are second rate, that kind of have a loser mentality, and or like, you know, people's grief. I'm seeing someone on social media. It's like Liam Neeson and what's her name from Baywatch? Pamela Anderson are like dating because they did Naked Gun, whatever movie.
Yes.
And they fell in love on the set, I guess. You know? So Liam Neeson's like 73. Pamela Anderson's like 58.
Oh, yes, age appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. All this, you know, my first thought was good for them. I look at the comments on Twitter and just ripping them.
That's bad.
Just ripping them. Like, why is he going after a younger girl? She looks terrible. You know, I think she looks good with no makeup.
Exactly.
I think she's brave as hell. Her whole life has been fake hair, fake look, makeup, all this, and she's going the natural look now. How brave is that of her? I respect the hell out of Pamela Anderson.
I agree. It's funny you say that too,
People are
because
crazy.
so many people say that there's like a counter movement against that, saying that she, at age whatever you said, looks good.
I think she looks great.
Unlike these people like Madonna and others that had all this plastic surgery done, and now they look.
I don't know what they look like.
That's how a 68-year-old woman should look.
Exactly.
She's beautiful. She's
Exactly.
beautiful.
Exactly. No, people are harsh. Zero makeup now. I love it. You know, it's awesome.
She earned it.
Yeah, she earned it. And Liam Neeson, I mean, Schindler's List, he doesn't have to do another movie.
Nope.
You know, and then I even like the Taken stuff a little bit. And the movie, I don't know if you saw this movie where he's like, he was running like a snowplow in the mountains. Did you see that?
I've heard of it.
It's a good movie where basically it's I think his son gets killed, so he goes to,
of course,
avenge. But it's not like Taken. It's a little more. It's not as intense, and it's a better script almost than Taken.
Yeah,
it's really an interesting movie. I forget the name of it, but he's like a snow plow operator outside of Denver. There's like an Indian tribe involved, a casino, drug dealing, all kind of stuff. It's just a really interesting movie.
Cold Pursuit.
Cold Pursuit. It's a really good Liam Neeson movie, I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's on Prime. Need to go watch this tonight.
Yep. I liked it better than Taken, to be honest with you.
Okay, I know what I'm watching tonight. Cool.
You know, it's a good plot, good actors in it. You know, there was good acting in it.
He's got elite range, man. Like, I feel like he could play a ton of
Yeah, he can do a lot of stuff. Come on, Schindler's List to Taken. That's like opposite dynamics right there. But anyway, just everybody was railing him, ripping him. I'm just like, I don't understand people. I really don't. I mean, these people are happy. You can't be happy for them. I don't understand it.
Worst kind of people.
No, I swear, man. I tried. I do talk radio and TV, Mario Brothers. So being, you know, opinionated, it's easy to be a cynic and be jaded. You can easily fall down that path. I have to watch it. So I'm aware of what I do for a living, giving lots of opinions. I run from negative people. Outside of the 4 to 6 when I'm on the air, and I'm not trying to embrace negative people when I'm on the air. I'm just saying outside of the show, there's not a lot of negativity in my life. People that are cynical, jaded, that just bring you down, that always bring up crap. You know, I was talking to a guy yesterday, you know, and we have a mutual acquaintance who he doesn't do it in front of me because he knows it's unacceptable, but he has like the thing, you know, I don't think he's ever said the N-bomb, but he's like a little racist, you know, and it's sad.
Yeah.
You know, it's pathetic. And I just think it's mental weakness on his part. And we, you know, he kind of knows I'm not. And he thinks it's sort of like Corey likes strawberry ice cream when I like chocolate chip. It's like, no, that isn't it at all. Corey has ethics, morals, and integrity and doesn't get caught up in baggage like racism, sexism, homophobia, just crap. I mean, life's hard enough, Mario Brothers, as is. You're going to get a pile of crap thrown in front of you, you know, and you had nothing to do with it. You got to deal with that. Yeah. I'm going to self-create it by a person's skin color or their religion or if they're male or female or gay or straight. Please. Yeah, I don't have time for that crap. I was raised right.
Exactly.
I was raised right.
Really important who you surround yourself with, man. I think I'm starting to learn that a little bit more now in my 30s.
No, because when you're younger, you just want to hang around people that are fun and characters and things don't really matter. You're just having fun. But as you get older and things matter, you're like, all that guy is good for is this. You know, all I do with him is go get drunk. All he wants to do is gamble. All he wants to, you know, and you're just like, I don't need that in my life, you know? I tell him about my problems with, you know, a girlfriend or something. He's telling me to break up with her, you know. I'm thinking about getting engaged. He's saying run the other way. I mean, you know, those people, you run from them.
Yeah, cheat on their wives.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one, you know. I was like 16, 17, 18. I remember like hooking up with some girl and then the next day like hooking up with another girl and the girl found out and I saw how bummed out the other one was. And I was just like, why would you want to do that to someone? Yeah. Why would you lie to this girl? Why would you be not true and lie? You want to be that kind of person? And I was like 16 or 17. I'm like, I'm never going to do that to a girl ever again. Yeah, exactly. Never done it again.
Yeah. And that's
college, adulthood, never cheated on someone I was in a relationship, not once, and have been tempted. And I'm not saying I'm some player, but I've had women approach me that are like, let's go right now. And I could have gotten away with it per se. But what's the point?
Exactly.
I'm going to lie to the person that's the most significant person in the world to me. I love like when you're around a bunch of guys and they're complaining about their wife. I'm like, man, what do you say about me? She's the most important person in your life, the person you love the most, the mother of your children, and you're dogging her like that? Yeah. Or cheating on her, or, you know, prostitution or strippers or any of that. Just run from that crap.
Well, the cheating on it is bad. And then people just say it so casually, like they're kind of bragging about it.
No, exactly. It's like, you're no stud.
It's like, yeah,
you're a loser.
Yeah, and you probably
she's a loser.
You probably asked a bunch of people to go to a bachelor party, go to Vegas or whatever, and you're kind of just like pooing on that, right?
Like 30 years ago, I'm flying like to London to visit my brother in London. And I'm on this flight and it's, you know, 5, you know, seats in the middle. It's like a 747. I'm like in the middle seat. And there's a dude next to me and I've got a CD player and headphones. This is like 30 years ago. And I'm playing some CDs. He taps me like an hour into the flight and he's some hyper religious guy. And I'm playing like Led Zeppelin. Oh my God. And he's like, life's like a glass of water. He goes, you put dirt in there or ink. Do you want to drink that water? I'm like, no, of course not. He goes, that's what you're doing with that music. I was like, all right, thanks. I just put the headphones on and closed my eyes and cranked up the music, you know, and I kind of laughed about it. But as I've grown older, I think about just the thought he was making, the analogy, and it's true. Life is like a glass of water. You let these negative people in, they're putting ink in the water, they're putting dirt in the water, they're putting a rock in the water or a chemical, they're polluting the water, and you want to drink. That's the water you have to drink. So treat your life like it's a pure, clean glass of water and keep it clean.
Well said.
Stay away from those negative people. And keep listening to Led Zeppelin. What was Damone's advice on Fast Times at Ridgemont High? When he was like, you know, you trying to hook up with the chick? You know, you got to pull it up, YouTube. Damone's advice, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Led Zeppelin. That's all you got to put in there.
Okay.
Damone's advice, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Led Zeppelin. And that should come up. It's something like play Led Zeppelin 4 side 2 or something. You better listen to it too first.
Yeah.
Damone might curse.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that without.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
You have to pull it up on your phone or something and listen.
Okay. I can do that.
All right.
Sorry.
Damone. Hey, did you ever see Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Yes, I know.
What do you think of the movie?
It's a great movie. That's a classic.
It is. It is a classic. It
Stuff
is
was
great.
really like that, I guess, whenever.
Yeah. Now, when you look at that movie, you're like, it's old.
I mean, yeah.
It looks old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a compliment, right? Like movies.
I
today,
guess.
feel like,
Yeah. I mean, I look at it, I know it's 30, 40 years old, but I don't look, when I think of something old, I think of like Maltese Falcon or, something in black and white.
Do you consider American Pie old?
No.
Yeah. See,
No, but that's like 30 years old, probably.
Yeah, it's 30 years old.
We
watched
no, I don't think that's that old, but it's crazy. You want to know how you know these things are old? When you see the actors today. You're like, holy smokes, that's that guy?
Yeah.
That's her? Wow. This movie is old. You never want him to age.
Yeah, like the Happy Gilmore people 30 years later, they just made that sequel.
Yep. I read something today on Twitter. It was Tom Sizemore, and they were talking about Saving Private Ryan. And every day, Steven Spielberg told Sizemore, I'm going to drug test you every day. The last day of filming, if you fail the test, I'm going to recut all your scenes with someone else. Jeez. And he stayed sober the whole time. And folks were on Twitter saying, why did Spielberg go with this? I'm like, because it's Sizemore and he's a great actor and obviously it worked. And you're questioning Steven Spielberg. And then I was like, who knows if this anecdote about the drug thing was legit, like it was every day. So I text my brother in London who was in Saving Private Ryan. He was on the beach scene with Tom Hanks as the radio guy who got his face blown off. And I said, did Tom Sizemore get drug tested every day? My brother's like, every single day he was drug tested. That was part of his contract. So I replied back, my brother was in Saving Private Ryan, and yes, he was drug tested every day, but why are you questioning Steven Spielberg? And, and then this guy replies back something, and his little bio had, for some reason, I guess these are movie folks, it had the big red dude, with the sawed-off horns.
Hellboy?
Hellboy. Yeah, my brother was in Hellboy.
Ah, cool.
So I was like, oh, he's in that movie too.
Jeez, your brother's got a pretty good portfolio.
No, my brother is a professional actor. I'd say he's like a C actor. He's not an A-list. He's not B. He's C. He's like, you have to say, you remember the scene with blah, blah, blah. He was the guy that said, can I help you guys? Can I get you a drink? He's got, 2 or 3 lines in a movie. He might have 10 or 20 lines in a movie. Born Ultimatum, Saving Private Ryan, The Mummy, the last 2 episodes of Band of Brothers. He's been in a bunch of films with a lot of great actors, but he's like a C guy, No one knows who he is. I don't think many people recognize him arbitrarily. The B actors you recognize. But anyway, I digress. The big story of the day, the Louisiana Supreme Court rules in favor of the plaintiffs. Those two, the business owner and the resident in the French Quarter, basically saying there was no emergency. LaToya Cantrell's full of crap. Henry Consulting is out, at least right now, and Ivy Waste will continue to be the trash hauler in the French Quarter. There won't be 2 companies picking up trash tomorrow or Friday.
Look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Roll call.
Kenner, Metairie, Harahan, River Ridge, Algiers, Gretna, Harvey, Terrytown, West Wego. We got you covered.
Roll call. Corey Johnson back at you on a wide open Wednesday. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. If you're tired of your dry cleaner and simply want to experience the best, youngsdrycleaning.com. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, home or office, East Bank or West Bank, and manless locker locations spread out throughout the city. To find out more about the best, youngsdrycleaning.com. It's nice to have one less thing to worry about. youngsdrycleaning.com. Big story of the day. The Louisiana Supreme Court has ruled Ivy Waste will continue to clean the French Quarter. Henry Consulting, at least temporarily, is out. There are more lawsuits. There are more decisions to be made. But right now, a ruling I think most people are in favor of, except Mayor LaToya Cantrell, Junket Cantrell, Oliver Thomas, Troy Henry, and maybe Richards. Maybe. The Supreme Court rules with the plaintiffs in the quarter, the business owner and the resident, that Ivy Waste contract shouldn't have been terminated by the mayor. There wouldn't have been an emergency if she wouldn't have created it by terminating Ivy Waste contract. Therefore, she doesn't have emergency powers. Therefore, she should have never signed up Henry Consulting. That's essentially what the Supreme Court of Louisiana has ruled. Tomorrow, there won't be 2 trash haulers in the quarter. I was visiting with Freddy King early in the 4 o'clock hour about this. And he said there could be 2 trash haulers tomorrow, Friday, and indefinitely cleaning the quarter. Ivy Waste contracts for like $460,000 a month. Henry Consulting's more than Ivy Waste, like north of $500,000. So that the city, instead of paying $460,000 to keep the quarter clean, it'd be about $1 million a month if both trash haulers were working the quarter. City can't afford that extra $500,000 a month for the same service, redundant. Louisiana Supreme Court basically rules there was no emergency. The mayor shouldn't have terminated IV Waste. Shouldn't have put Henry Consulting in their place. So Henry Consulting is out. IV Waste will continue to clean the French Quarter. There will not be 2 trash haulers, only one. And this might stick permanently through December, and there could be another lawsuit or another judgment that changes things. So still semi-fluid, but this is as good as it gets right now. The day before all this was supposed to start, the Louisiana Supreme Court stops it. So Henry Consulting will not be in the quarter tomorrow, and that's a good thing. IV Waste will continue to be the trash hauler. Crazy. Just crazy. This whole situation shouldn't even be going on. Self-created by Junket Cantrell, who has checked out as mayor a while back. It's just about free meals, drinks, and junkets. Boy, yesterday, 97 degrees, felt like $112. Today, overcast, 77, feels like 77. That's a 25-degree feels like temperature. What am I saying? 25, 35, Mario Brothers. Doing terrible math there. 35 degrees from $112 to 77. 35 degrees feels like temperature different. 112's like dangerous scorcher. I got to go to the hospital. 77's like pleasant. Let's go outside, walk the dog. 35-degree feels like temperature difference from yesterday to today. That's crazy. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. What do you think about the Louisiana Supreme Court ruling? Are you happy to see IV Waste continuing to clean the quarter and Henry Consulting not in the French Quarter? 766-9480. French Quarter business owner, French Quarter residents, want to hear from you. What do you think of the news? The Louisiana Supreme Court ruling. 766-9480. 766-9480. Mayor LaToya Cantrell has done very, very little good. She's made very, very few good decisions. A couple of them I will recognize. Hiring Gosson Corbin out of Milwaukee to run the Sewage and Water Board was a plus. We're going to miss this guy. He did more in his 7 years than maybe the Sewage and Water Board got accomplished in the last 70. Literally. He's transformed it. I'm nervous about the guy they're bringing in from Philly. Is he legit, or is he like Cedric Grant, just some anointed, appointed type guy? The jury's still out on this guy. Hadn't even started yet. I hope he's legit. I have no idea. I would have personally promoted Steve Nelson. I think Steve Nelson was doing a hell of a job, is doing a hell of a job right now with the Sewage and Water Board. So Gosson Corbin, that was a very, very good hire by the mayor. Mitch Landrieu, who I think is a much better mayor than LaToya Cantrell. You can't even compare the two, even if you don't like Mitch. But Mitch went the political route. Sadly, one of Mitch's worst decisions, playing politics, putting this anointed, appointed hack that had been in city government for decades, earning good money, doing nothing. He put Cedric Grant in there running the Sewage and Water Board, playing politics, nauseating. No, the mayor, LaToya Cantrell, Junket Cantrell, basically worthless. She brought in the right guy, Gosson Corbin, to run the Sewage and Water Board. You have to give her credit for that. And then I think Gilbert Montano, I think he was in Albuquerque, if I'm not mistaken, brought him to be the city's CAO. I'm not saying he's the greatest or the worst, but he's legitimate, and he cared, and he came to work, and he worked. And I think about his skills, and if he wasn't around, and if the mayor would have put in like a Cedric Grant in his position, some appointed, anointed hack, we'd have been even much worse off than we are right now with this mayor. So no, LaToya Cantrell's done very, very little that's good or made the right decisions. But going outside the box, not hiring some anointed, appointed political hacks that had been in New Orleans politics for decades, she went outside of the city, went outside the state, went to Milwaukee and hired Gosson Corbin, who had been 30 years running public service water in Milwaukee. Brought him in, an expert, a pro, and then brought in Montano from Albuquerque. I give her credit. I really do on those things. Because, you know, she's a hack. She's a joker. She could have brought in just, you know, Some total flunkies. Gilbert Montano resigns as the city CAO under Mayor Cantrell. He says he's going to stay in the city. Fell in love with New Orleans, not going anywhere, just looking for the next gig. I think he's smart. He's saying, I don't want my wagon's been connected to this crazy mayor for 7 years. It's not going to end good. The next 5 months, she's already checked out. The next 5 months, more crap's going to pop up, like this trash contract thing that I disagree with. Better to leave now, because there might be some poop hitting the fan in the future. Don't want to be anywhere near that. Gilbert Montano resigning as city CAO under the mayor today. Wow, she just can't help herself. Mind friggin' blowing. Susan Hudson shouldn't even be running for mayor. It's pathetic. Last night they had a forum with like the 4 or 5 mayoral candidates. Susan Hudson in the forum yesterday suggested the May 16th jailbreak was politically motivated. She did that like day 1 or 2 of the jailbreak, made that comment, and caught such backlash that she backed off of it. I mean, talk about projection, displacement, blaming others, not taking responsibility. I mean, beyond pathetic. Susan Hudson is just weak. Can't handle the job. You know, it's sad. Susan Hudson's not stupid. I love when people like Mayor LaToya Cantrell's stupid. No, she's not. She's got a Xavier degree. I'm not saying she's smart, but she's not stupid. Susan Hudson's not stupid. She's not uneducated, but she's not smart, and she's not anything special. The problem with LaToya Cantrell and Susan Hudson, painfully average. Painfully average. When we need special people that are special, that are highly intellectual, that are honest and have high integrity and are leaders and get things done. These two are the opposite. In over their head, painfully average. No, Susan Hudson just literally trying to blame. I mean, that like her political opponents running for sheriff colluded with people to get a jailbreak going to make the sheriff look bad. The person you mistakenly released, this Khalil guy a week ago, that was also some kind of conspiracy against you, or was that your mistake? Are you going to take responsibility for any of these screw-ups at the jail? Now, this is New Orleans, so you never say never, but Susan Hudson has no chance of being reelected, right? I mean, no chance. Talk about incompetence. On top of setting up friends and family. I mean, that Kristen Morales girl who worked at the IG's office, Ed Michel fired her for theft. The very next day, Susan Hudson hires her. You got to scratch your head and go, why? And then you realize, oh, wow, you find out Susan Hudson and Morales were roommates. They lived together. There are reports that they were maybe romantically involved, like they were, partners. I don't give a crap about any of that. Only unless it affects me as a taxpayer. It's like the mayor with Vappy. I don't give a crap about her personal life. But when Vappy's on the clock and Vappy's dating the mayor and not protecting her and on the clock getting money, yeah, I'm concerned about that relationship all of a sudden. Hudson with Morales, this woman who was fired from the IG's office for theft, and Morales gets hired right away by Susan Hudson, and it's her former roommate or pal, and she's number 2. She's like the Mr. Spock to Captain Kirk, making 6 figures, a lot more than she made at the IG's office. No, it's the woman who was hired that made like $200,000 doing nothing, hires her son who was disbarred, couldn't work as a lawyer in Louisiana for a year, hires him for 6 figures. These special contracts where people are making thousands of dollars a day, overtime that wasn't necessary, hotel rooms booked over Mardi Gras, 200-something thousand that weren't used. I mean, go on and on and on. No, Susan Hudson, if she had any honor, integrity, pride, she would step away and not run for re-election. But she doesn't possess those things. So she's not only running, she's blaming the jailbreak on others.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Total Maintenance King. TM-AC.com, no cool spots. TM-AC.com, no cool spots.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Not a politician or part of a political machine. Corey Johnson.
I propose that I use what's left of the town treasury to move to a more prosperous town and run for mayor.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Yeah, you right. Hey, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, knock out your paint project. Helm Paint and Decorating's in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. And paint ain't paint. Benjamin Moore, the best paint on the planet. That's what you'll get at Helm. I painted my house a few years ago. It looks like I painted it yesterday. I painted my house a few years ago with a Benjamin Moore paint, Regal Select, lifetime warranty. I'll never paint my house again. But because it's Helm and because it's Benjamin Moore, it's affordable. If I want to change the color in 5 years, 10 years, I can. In New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, when it's time to paint, Helm Paint and Decorating. Another one of those no-brainer category things, huh? I mean, I'm not going to the big box store or some national chain store. I'm going to Helm. 766-9480. Love to hear from the French Quarter resident or business owner. 766-9480. I think it's great news. The Louisiana Supreme Court ruled. We broke the story locally. Thank you, Freddy King. While it was happening, a good 10, 15 minutes before Fox 8 got it or NOLA.com or 4 or 6. I like breaking news stories every now and then because that's not what we do, but every now and then we do. The Louisiana Supreme Court ruled they're in favor of the plaintiffs, the business owner and the resident in the French Quarter. They're basically saying the Henry Consulting contract is void, at least for right now. IV Waste will continue tomorrow, next week, as the sole trash hauler in the French Quarter. They'll do it alone, not two trash haulers. So Henry Consulting is out in the French Quarter. IV Waste is in, at least temporarily. Supreme Court, Louisiana Supreme Court ruling. No, that's huge. Two trash haulers is going to cost the city about $1 million a month. And Henry Consulting is more per month than IV Waste. So I think for the citizens of New Orleans, folks in the metro area that want to see the quarter clean, the French Quarter residents and business owners especially, a huge victory. The Louisiana Supreme Court ruling in favor of the plaintiffs against the mayor. Essentially, the Supreme Court said the mayor canceled a contract that was valid with IV Waste that was going through December. By her proactively canceling the contract, that created the emergency. She falsely, artificially created an emergency, then took the emergency powers as mayor that come with a legitimate emergency, like if there was a hurricane. And then got Henry Consulting at a more expensive monthly fee to be the trash vendor for the French Quarter. The Supreme Court ruled that by canceling the IV Waste contract, you falsely created an emergency. Therefore, you didn't have the emergency powers to grant Henry Consulting the trash contract. So there was no emergency. You don't have emergency powers. Henry Consulting's contract is null and void. IV Waste, under the French Quarter Management District's contract, which is good through December 22nd of this year, will continue to pick up trash in the quarter. There won't be two trash haulers. It's kind of crazy. I had Freddy King on the program in the 4 o'clock hour. We literally had him on, and we're talking about, so Freddie, tomorrow and Friday, it could be Henry Consulting and IV Waste picking up in the quarter, both at the same time. He says, that's most likely how it's going to be. And then I'm like, Freddie, thanks. A minute later, Freddie calls me back, and we put him back on the air. Just got the Supreme Court ruling. And we broke that story right then and there with Freddy King breaking it for us, kind of being our roving reporter. Right away during the next break, I'm trying to get more information, so I'm going on 46826, NOLA.com, Lens. None of them have the story yet. And then I think Fox 8 was the local media outlet that had it first, and then 6 and 4 and NOLA.com and so forth. Anyway, great news for the French Quarter residents and business owners. Great news for the citizens of the city, saving us money, better clean. There's no downside to this. Coupled with a little lanyap gravy, the mayor loses on this one. And that's a good thing, because LaToya Cantrell isn't a good person and isn't civic-minded and isn't looking out for what's best for the citizens of the city. She is literally checked out. And that's terrible. That's terrible. Corey Johnson with you on a Wednesday. Yeah, big news. Supreme Court rules. IV Waste is in. Henry Consulting out of there. Gilbert Montano, lots of big headlines. Gilbert Montano, the city's CAO under LaToya Cantrell, resigning today. He's got 5 more months to go before he, the mayor's term's up, but he's getting out early. I think he knows some more poop's going to hit the fan with this mayor over the next 5 months. He wants to distance himself from it. He disagreed with the mayor on, you remember the travel? Said, the council's right. The mayor needs to reimburse the $30,000. The mayor was livid with Montano. He didn't lose his job, though. And now the latest and greatest, he said that IV Waste should have the deal in the quarter. He said, earlier in July, him along with the sanitation director, the associate or assistant CAO, sat with the mayor, and Mayor LaToya Cantrell said, we're going to stick with IV Waste for the end of the year. And then the next morning, he finds out the mayor pulled a 180, declared an emergency, and gave Henry Consulting the contract. So he disagreed with that, but kept his job. Honestly, I think he kept his job because He's the glue that holds it all together for the mayor. I mean, if Montano went around, the more of the mayor's crap would have been exposed. Just incompetence, not knowing left from right, up from down. So I think she had no choice but to keep him. But now he's like, I don't want to be associated with this mayor. When she's out, I don't want to be there that day, standing with her our final day. I'm getting out early. Smart move. Last night, a sheriff's forum. Sheriff Susan Hudson just has no shame, literally suggesting that the May 16th jailbreak, she did this right when it happened, and now she's doing it because it's election time. Suggesting the May 16th jailbreak was politically motivated, like others got together and planned the jailbreak to make the sheriff look bad. Talk about displacement. Talk about projection. Talk about not taking responsibility for your screw-ups and blaming others. Absolutely pathetic. That alone should fully disqualify this excuse maker, this learning on the fly, Susan Hudson, for being sheriff. What's that, Blue Boy? Never count New Orleans out for doing something crazy, but you think it's like a 99% shot. She's got no shot of re-election. I'm with you, Blue Boy. Both points well taken. What else, buddy? Mañana, 4 o'clock.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.